You are as guilty as they are because you were an essential part of that crime. When you went to spend that blood money on sneakers and jerseys, you revealed to the court the value you placed on the human life that was taken.
Dedrick Williams was in a Broward County courtroom for violating his probation in a previous grand theft charge. He is also charged with the murder of rapper XXXTentacion. Detectives say Williams killed the rapper as he left a motorsports store in Deerfield Beach.
And at the conclusion of this evidence, you'll find that Dedrick Williams, Michael Boatwright, and Trayvon Newsom are guilty of first-degree murder and guilty of armed robbery in this case.
The trial of 3 men for the murder of rapper XXXTentacion.
There is bombshell that's just dropped in the XXXTentacion case. Like, seriously, this is absolutely wild. One of the convicted killers, Dedrick Williams, is now pointing fingers at none other than Drake of all people. I know. It sounds completely insane, but trust me, the evidence he's bringing to court is about to blow your mind. Let me spill all the tea about what's going down. So, let me take you back to where it all started. XXXTentacion, or X as his fans lovingly called him, was born on January 23, 1998 in Florida. This incredible young talent absolutely dominated the music scene with his unique emo-style rap that honestly just spoke to people's souls. His hits like Moonlight and Look at Me were absolutely everywhere. And yes, our boy had his fair share of drama with the law, but his young fans, they absolutely adored him because he was just so real, you know? But get ready, because this is where things get absolutely heartbreaking. On June 18, 2018, everything changed in the most tragic way possible. X had just withdrawn $50,000 and was leaving a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida, with a friend when suddenly, and I can barely even type this, an SUV blocked their path. The security cameras caught everything. 2 armed men jumped out, and after a heated confrontation, they X multiple times and fled with the money. I still get chills thinking about it.
Surveillance cameras captured the ambush of rapper XXXTentacion as he prepared to leave a Deerfield Beach motorcycle dealership last June. The cameras show a vehicle block the rapper's exit, and then men jump out of the vehicle and confront XXXTentacion.
The most devastating part, he was just 20 years old, you guys. 20, right at the absolute peak of his career. Gone way too soon. But hold on to your seats because this story is about to take an absolutely shocking turn with this new appeal asking, is Drake involved? After X's death, the police arrested 4 suspects, and here's where it gets super messy. One of them, Robert Allen, totally threw everyone else under the bus. He made a deal with the feds, which led to the other 3 getting life in prison without any chance of parole. Talk about the ultimate betrayal.
After Dedrick Williams realizes that he doesn't have a mask to rob people, what did you guys decide to do?
We'll buy one.
Where?
Motorsport.
Who drove to Reed Motorsports?
But wait, because this tea is about to get scalding hot. Dedrick Devin Williams, one of the convicted men, is now filing documents for an appeal, and oh my goodness, you won't believe what he's claiming. He and his legal team are saying he didn't get a fair trial because supposedly some crucial evidence was completely ignored. And get this, they're dragging Drake into this mess. Like, this situation just went from bad to absolutely explosive.
Turn of events, rapper Aubrey Graham, also known as Drake, may actually be linked to late rapper Hassaf Onfroy, also known as XXXTentacion's murder. This may actually be more than just rumors. Dedrick Williams, one of the men convicted in the tragic killing as the getaway driver of the late rapper's death, is appealing his conviction after evidence was not allowed in court, according to his attorney, Marcicio Padilla, who is appointing Drake as a possible suspect. Williams' attorney Padilla argues that the jury didn't hear all the facts.
Poor Drake just can't catch a break lately. So here's the tea. Mauricio Padilla, who's on Dedrick's defense team, spilled all the details in an interview with Jesse Weber. And y'all, it's wild. Remember that super controversial Instagram post X made before his death? He literally said if anything happened to him, Champagne Papi, aka Drake, would be to blame. I mean, yes, we all knew X and Drake had serious beef, but to make such a dramatic statement and then, well, you know what happened. Whether Drake was involved or not, this is not a good look for our boy Drizzy.
Prior to him being murdered, he had posted on Instagram, if anybody kills me, I'm snitching right now, it's Champagne Papi. I'm paraphrasing, but something to that effect, right? So, imagine, the decedent said prior to his death, if anybody kills me, it's Champagne Poppy, which is Drake's Instagram name.
Now, let me tell you about this insane beef between X and Drake because, honey, it was messy. You know how up-and-coming rappers sometimes start drama with the big names to boost their careers? Well, X totally borrowed from that playbook, and oh my goodness, did he pick the biggest target possible. This whole thing exploded back in 2017 when Drake was on tour. He dropped these snippets of his new track KMT, and everyone was like, this is fire. Well, everyone except X. So get this, after Drake teased the song, people started pointing out that it sounded suspiciously similar to X's Look at Me. And when I say similar, I mean identical. Drake tried to do damage control, saying only the first 2 lines might sound alike, but he was shocked, I tell you, that anyone would think he'd steal someone's song. He was all, I'm not that dumb, and I would never do that. But honey, the drama was just getting started.
Drake, he was supposed to contact one of my managers, so he doesn't do it. That same week, bro.
Demon just got out of can. I gave my
I hear that in my dad.
just got in my place.
Hey, can't keep my in my pants. Hey, my bitch don't love me no more. Hey, she kicked me out on life, bro.
X saw his chance and went for Drake's throat. He jumped on Twitter and basically declared Drake's career over, telling him to start investing his money elsewhere. Like, can you even? The audacity. But wait, because X wasn't done, not even close. He made this absolutely wild phone call from jail to DJ Academics, spilling all the tea about how Drake was playing dumb about not knowing him. According to X, Drake had already reached out through a mutual friend and even gave him props in an interview. And then Adam22, X's former manager, jumped into the mess on his No Jumper podcast, completely exposing Drake's claims about not knowing X. He dropped this bomb that Drake's team had actually hit up DJ Carnage about working with X before KMT even happened. The plot thickens.
Keeping a blood raw, I still think Drake, like, I think he's not a man. I think that's a move. Especially when I was in jail facing life, bro. You get what I'm saying? If Drake would have came to my barn hearing, you know what I'm saying, that would have made my day. If he would have showed that he's a hospitable person and that he's really in this for the culture, rather than being a nigga taking my running off with it and then putting it on his album, then he would have got my kudos, he would have got my respect. I would have let him hop on the remix, take 100% royalty rate. I would have done it. Because I know I can maintain, you know what I'm saying, and I would have appreciated him for being a real nigga. But Drake not a real nigga.
Now hold on to your seats because X took this beef to a whole new level of petty. He actually had the nerve to shoot his shot at Drake's mom on Twitter. Can you believe it? He straight up called her cute and said, she could get it. I mean, seriously? And as if that wasn't shocking enough, this man doubled down and repeated the same thing on Instagram Live the same day. The disrespect was just off the charts.
Hey, tell Drake mom, I want some... Hey, tell Drake mom, I want some tapioca pudding. Tell Drake mom I like my pudding tapioca.
But wait, there's more. X wasn't done dragging Drake, not by a long shot. He started coming for Drake's Jamaican accent, calling him out for cultural appropriation. X was like, stop speaking patois, you're not from Jamaica. And he made sure everyone knew that he and his family were actually from Kingston, Jamaica. The shade of it all. Meanwhile, Drake was surprisingly quiet, like suspiciously quiet. He just took the high road, which was honestly pretty mature of him if you ask me.
And hey, tell this Drake, stop speaking patois. You are not Jamaican. I'm a real Jamaican. I'm from Kingston. All of my family is from Kingston. Stop stealing my people's culture. Get the off our... We don't claim you.
But this beef just kept simmering and simmering, with other rappers getting caught in the crossfire. 600 Breezy somehow got tangled up in this mess, and Drake started showing his shady side too. Like, when X got knocked out on stage by Rob Stone, Drake actually liked a trolling comment about it on DJ Academic's Instagram. The pettiness was real. Things finally seemed to cool down in 2018 when X apologized to Drake's mom for those inappropriate comments. But honey, he still wouldn't let go of that KMT situation. He kept insisting that Drake stole his song, and he wasn't backing down from that claim. Not one bit.
I want to say this right now. I want to say this on this video. I apologize to Drake for coming for his mom. I saw you as a business opportunity as you saw me as a business opportunity. As you extorted the cadence from that song. I'm not going to argue. It is what it is, nigga. The cadence is exactly same. And if I'm just an emotional bitch, then it is what it is. We agree to disagree like men, but I apologize because talking about his mom was wrong.
Now, this is where things get super interesting. Dedrick's attorney, Mauricio Padilla, is trying to turn this whole defense around by bringing Drake into the picture. And the tea he's spilling? Scalding! Padilla's listing all these errors that supposedly support Dedrick's appeal. Get this, he's saying the state tried to make him strike all his witnesses from his witness list. Like, is that even legal? And as if that wasn't wild enough, they apparently tried to force him to reveal his entire defense strategy up front. The audacity.
In December of 2020, I filed a witness list. The state's reaction to that was to file a motion saying, we want the court to strike all of his witnesses, that's not even something that's legal or that you could do. You have to itemize who you want stricken. You just can't shotgun approach and say, I want all of his defense witnesses stricken. But the state attorney did that. In a hearing that I had to defend, myself in that motion, the court didn't grant that, but the court instructed me to file a pleading, which was the nexus in my defense witnesses and what nexus they had to my theory of defense, which I argued was inappropriate because at the end of the day, you're ordering me to give the state a blueprint of what my defense is going to be.
But honey, the drama just keeps getting juicier. Mauricio filed this motion about DJ Academic's testimony, and oh my goodness. See, Academics was super close to X and knew all about this Drake beef. He even has those phone calls with X on YouTube to prove it. And here's where it gets absolutely wild. Apparently, X wanted Academics to post this totally inappropriate picture of a Drake lookalike with, well, let's just say it was beyond disrespectful. Academics refused to post it, thank goodness, and actually warned X to be careful, because even though Drake isn't some street gangster, he said Drake might retaliate. Talk about foreshadowing.
The court was fully aware of my theory of defense. Prior to that, I filed a motion to perpetuate the testimony of Livingston Allen, which goes by the name of DJ Academics, because DJ Academics was friends with X and had posted long YouTube, content regarding this beef. He actually posted YouTube saying that he was on the phone with X discussing the issue and the beef that he had with Drake, and specifically, X had either said or posted something about Drake's mom, and he had posted a picture of a Drake lookalike with semen on his face, and he wanted DJ Academics to post it on his own site, and he said, I'm not going to do that. And in that conversation, DJ Academics says that you better be careful because even though, and I'm paraphrasing again, even though he's not a gangster, you may be pushing him.
The drama doesn't stop there. Mauricio dropped another bombshell about what happened when they tried to serve Drake with a subpoena. Y'all, there's actual video of this mess. Drake's bodyguards were being totally uncooperative, and get this, one of Drake's employees was caught on camera kicking the subpoena down the street outside Drake's mansion. Like, who does that?
At that time, James Beard, which is the process server that served Drake, appeared as a witness, and I wanted to show video that he took of the actual attempted service where it shows Drake's bodyguards or the people that are in front of his house refusing to cooperate. It showed one of Drake's employees kicking the subpoena down the road that leads to his mansion. And the judge didn't allow me to show that.
But here's what's absolutely insane. The judge wouldn't even let them show this video in court. Can you believe it? Instead, they're questioning why Drake needs to be involved at all, and then, get ready for this, they actually granted Drake's motion to squash the subpoena and gave him a protective order. And as if that wasn't enough, they let Drake's lawyer, Brad Cohen, argue California law without even having a California expert present. Then they just struck Drake from the witness list. Like, what is even happening here?
The judge did a 180 from telling me to figure it out, coordinate it, take the depo, did a 180, told me, why are you involving him? Granted the motion for protective order, granted the motion to quash my subpoena, allowed Mr. Cohen to argue California law without having a California expert there, and basically kind of chastised me about, why are you bringing them into it?
And this is where it gets even more suspicious. Mauricio isn't holding back. He's straight up saying the judge might be giving Drake special treatment because he's such a huge celebrity. Like, he literally called Drake a super celebrity and suggested that's why the judge made all these supposedly unconstitutional decisions that completely destroyed any chance of Dedrick getting a fair trial. It's giving major celebrity privilege vibes, and honestly, we've seen this story play out way too many times before.
I don't want to speculate as to why, but when you're dealing with someone like Drake, which he's not a celebrity, he's a super celebrity. He's like in the stratosphere of fame. So when a judge does a 180 like that, I'll let the viewers or other people figure out why they think that it happened.
But hold on to your seats, because this tea is about to get even hotter. The judge also blocked Jesse De La Cruz, a gang expert, from testifying, and what he had to say would have blown this case wide open. De La Cruz claimed he found actual visual evidence connecting Drake to the same organization as Robert Allen. You know, the guy who flipped on everyone. I'm talking about Drake throwing the same gang signs as Allen, and get this, apparently Drake's associates were spotted threatening X in his own neighborhood before he died. Like, how suspicious is that?
And the defense, my understanding, wanted to call Jesse De La Cruz, who they had claimed, discovered visual evidence that Drake could have had ties to the same organization as a co-defendant in this case, Robert Allen.
Yes, okay, so Dr. De La Cruz did proffer to the court everything that you've stated regarding the song lyrics, the fact that Drake was throwing gang signs that were the same gang signs that Allen was throwing up in different social media posts.
And the connections just keep getting creepier. De La Cruz made these absolutely chilling connections between Drake's lyrics and X's death in songs that came out after X passed away. In XXX, Drake has these super suspicious lyrics about shooting below the neck, and in I'm Upset, he talks about Louis bags for body bags, which De La Cruz thinks is referencing the Louis Vuitton bag X had with that $50,000 when he was killed. I mean, seriously, why would the judge not want to hear this testimony? The whole thing is getting shadier by the minute.
Because shortly after XXX was killed, the brief writes, Mr. Graham released a song entitled XXX with suspicious lyrics. SMS XXX, that's the only time I shot below the neck. And Dr. Cruz found another connection between the murder and Drake's lyrics in the song I'm Upset. The song I'm Upset contains lyrics regarding Louis bags for body bags, the implication there being that Drake was referencing murder. But ultimately, Cruz was completely excluded from the trial, and the jury did not hear any of his findings.
I don't believe that was a legal call. I think it was error for him to do that and not allow us to put forth that testimony. And we put up pictures of Drake with Lil Wayne throwing up a Bloods gang sign and other evidence that Drake is out there flaunting gang ties.
The drama just keeps unfolding, you guys. Mauricio is spilling even more tea about how the court totally limited his ability to properly cross-examine Allen. Like when he tried to ask about one of the guns used in the shooting, which Allen's father supposedly provided, and its possible connections to Toronto, Drake's hometown, by the way, the judge completely shut that line of questioning down. Like, why are they so determined to keep certain questions from being asked?
Allen admitted that his father, known dealer, known firearms dealer, as the brief states, produced at least one of the guns that was used in this. When I asked him about his father and ties to Toronto and dealing, the state objected, and the judge didn't allow that question.
But here's where things get really messy. The state attorney made this huge mistake by asking Allen if he knew Drake was in Miami at that time. And this was after Drake had been struck from the witness list. Can you believe it? This basically opened up this whole can of worms about Drake being a person of interest, which totally complicated Mauricio's defense strategy. And when Mauricio tried to follow up during cross-examination, Allen's response was basically, oh, my partner checked social media to confirm Drake's location. Like what? You're using social media posts as evidence in a murder trial? And the craziest part? None of this was even in their official report. They really thought they could get away with this.
So it was a constant battle for me to try and basically do my job and show where reasonable doubt existed. With Allen, with Detective Curcio, the problem here is also that the state attorney, on direct of Detective Curcio, which was the lead detective in the case, she asked, do you have any information that Drake was involved in this? And that was before the court struck him. So whatever the reasons may have existed, the moment that state attorney opens up their mouth and says that, now he's really at issue.
So here's the thing, fam. Even though everyone was saying justice was served when Dedrick and the others were convicted, this trial was an absolute mess. There are so many contradictions and mistakes that we just can't ignore. While Drake might have had something to do with X's death, all these errors during the trial might have actually saved him from some serious trouble. But with this appeal moving forward, Drake might not be in the clear just yet. This story is far from over. Did all this tea have you shook? Because I'm still processing everything. Don't forget to smash that like button and share this video. And make sure you're subscribed because our next video is going to dive deep into the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. The drama never ends in the hip-hop world, and I'm here for all of it. OMG, this whole situation is just absolutely wild, right? From murder mysteries to courtroom drama to possible celebrity involvement, it's like a Hollywood thriller, except it's all painfully real. And the fact that we might never know the whole truth? That's what makes it even more chilling. Keep your eyes peeled because something tells me this story isn't done serving up the tea just yet.